The 7 million year of mankind is about to end. It is not due to a nuclear war or an invasion by an alien race. Its extinction, its end, is at the hands of none other than the creators of mankind themselves, the gods. Will mankind in the final battle between gods attain the right to continue existing for the next 1,000 years? This is Record of Ragnarok. Based on the Japanese manga series of the same name, 13 gods versus 13 humans will fight to the death for the fate of the human race. Here we get 12 episodes about 20 minutes apiece with this Netflix anime original, and what's really great about Record of Ragnarok is that, in a nutshell, it's basically the best parts of every anime tournament arc you've come to know and love, and they just jump straight into the action. Kinda, more about that later. Whether it's Greek gods, Norse gods, sexy ass waifus defying physics, and ideally any other gods you might think would represent themselves in this tournament, the character models are fantastic. Seriously, have any of you ever come across Thor looking like this before? I didn't think so. What's more shocking is the human characters they pin against these gods. If you told me I had to pick 13 humans from throughout all of human history to face off against gods, never in a million years would I think of picking Adam, the first human to have ever existed, or Jack the Ripper, the infamous serial killer from the 19th century? What is Adam going to do? Throw apples at Zeus? Well, just watch this anime and see for yourselves the clever things these characters can pull off. Speaking of Zeus, I have never expected him to see a "this is not even my final transformation" meme out of him. This dude has more forms than Frieza, for crying out loud. Now, you may be asking yourselves, well, how are these human combatants even able to stand toe-to-toe against these gods? In short, Brunhild, one of the 13 Valkyries, vouches for humanity and came up with this tournament in the first place, and asked her fellow sisters to become weapons for these humans, but will suffer the same fate as them if they were to fall in battle. So it definitely adds more of an emotional weight to the overall battles, even if you may not care for some of the characters representing the side of humanity. Now, because this is Tournament Fighting Arc the anime, we really don't get to see many of these characters fleshed out except the combatants themselves, which leads me to the next point. It's thrilling to see these characters face off against one another, but as the fight seems ready to crank it up to the next level, boom, flashback. Want to know about Thor's backstory? Boom, here you go. Want to know why Adam is fighting in this tournament to begin with? Boom, here's another flashback. This is sprinkled all throughout the anime. And while, yes, the flashbacks shown throughout Record of Ragnarok gives us a history lesson as to who some of these characters are and why I should feel emotionally attached to them, personally, many of these flashbacks slow down the overall momentum of the individual fight themselves and can deter your overall enjoyment of the show. I still loved it, but just something to be wary of, and hell, give it about a week or so and I'm sure someone is going to just clip all the fights without the flashbacks on YouTube in due time. That being said, with only 12 episodes overall, 4 episodes will take up a single battle, so hopefully this anime will become successful enough to warrant more seasons in the future, because you won't see some of the characters they teased about in this tournament, and I really am curious to see how some of them will duke it out against the gods. Hell, I'm even curious to see how some of these gods will battle the humans as well. But for now, in season 1 of Record of Ragnarok, you'll see Thor versus Lobo, Zeus versus Adam, and Poseidon versus Konjiro Sasaki. Let me tell you, the way each of these battles subverted my expectations and the way you see some characters win or do a flashy combo is arguably the best moments of Record of Ragnarok. Even with the typical anime cliches thrown in there from time to time, such as, "You'll never defeat me and my strongest attack I've trained all these years for," it still pulls you in. These characters look great, to their visual designs, to even how they showcase their grand entrances and flashy attacks. Record of Ragnarok looks impressive. However, I will mention that you can tell which episodes they threw all of their animation budget on, because many times while watching this, you'll also run into stilled frame shots or the typical anime zoom in effect to show a character's facial expression or attack. But overall, I walked away with Record of Ragnarok being more impressive and catching me surprisingly emotional with the outcomes of these fights, and I am definitely intrigued to Google search some of the characters fighting on the side of humanity after watching this. Highly recommended for all my anime enthusiasts out there, and without giving away spoilers, I will say the best fight by far was Adam versus Zeus. However, Thor versus Lobo really set the precedence and got me hyped as hell for the following fights and where future fights will go. For those of you who have watched Record of Ragnarok, what moment stood out to you? My name is DJ Milez, and as I always say, take care.